Hello, ladies and gentlemen, loyal Imperial citizens and rebel scum alike. Welcome to another Liam Aiden gameplay video. Back with more Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes today, where we're going to be taking a look at the Moff Gideon kit reveal that just dropped the other day. And man, does it look like a pretty amazing kit. Let's take a look. So this was released just the other day over on the official forums. We know that we're going to be getting Moff Gideon through a Marquee event. We still don't know exactly when that event is going to take place, but these are the basics of the kit reveal. So let's start off at the top. Moff Gideon, Dark Side, Support, Leader, Empire, Imperial Trooper. Those are the tags. Highlights: wielder of the Darksaber, swings the legendary weapon at an opponent, causing permanent armor shreds. So that sounds like it's pretty much the same as Sabine's mechanic right there. In control, has the ability to reset the turn order and then give his allies a surge of speed. I'm going to talk a little bit more about that in a second. That sounds amazing. And then lastly, leader of Imperial Troopers. While supported with a fire team of Imperial Troopers, gains several advantages from enemies who have the leader tag. Again, pretty revolutionary. Going to talk about that in a second. And then synergy suggestions: Death Trooper, Snow Trooper, Shore Trooper, and Admiral Piet. So really looks like he's going to be injecting new life into the Empire squad. That's just what we want. Hi, holotable heroes. Moff Gideon has arrived to impose his will on the holotables. The formidable Moff, once an officer in the Imperial Security Bureau and now wielder of the legendary Mandalorian Darksaber, uses his unique talents to lead Imperial troopers into battle. Always tactical and looking for every advantage, Moff Gideon controls the battlefield by utilizing AoE attacks, turn meter manipulation, and applying both daze and a new debuff that leaves his foes demoralized. With the Darksaber in hand, Moff Gideon turns his attention to chasing down the child. Use his unrelenting focus and astute battlefield knowledge to lead your squad of Imperial troopers onto the holotables and bring glory to the Empire by unlocking Moff Gideon in an all-new Marquee event. Long live the Empire! There is a lot to take in there. Moff Gideon seems as though he is going to be a character, once again, that's coming really outside of the box. Capital Games are really bringing some new mechanics here, some new thinking to Galaxy of Heroes, and it is really exciting. So let's take a look at the basics. Okay, the basics. Moff Gideon is an Empire leader with a very focused synergy with Imperial Troopers. So a lot like Piet, you're going to want to pair him with your Imperial Troopers. Gideon gains insight into an enemy team, unlocking an ability to deal damage and daze the entire enemy side. So insight, this new ability that he has, will allow him to deal damage to and daze the entire enemy team. That's pretty cool. He carries a Darksaber into combat. Okay, we already know that. And it sounds as though it's going to be very similar to Sabine, going to have armor shred, which is cool. Don't get me wrong, it's a pretty cool mechanic. Not many characters have armor shred in the game. And then he has the ability to reset both sides' turn meters to 0 with the aptly named Control the Situation special ability. Wow. So Control the Situation allows Gideon to reset all turn meter in the battle. His side and the enemy side reduce all of their turn meter to 0. That is completely unprecedented. This ability at tier 6 will also give your side a head start in turn meter gain. That is massive. That's really huge. So Moff Gideon is going to be able to use this Control the Situation ability to remove all turn meter from the battle, and then after tier 6, give his side a buff, a head start in gaining more turn meter over the enemy. That is amazing. We've never seen anything like this before. That is going to open up whole new possibilities for Galaxy of Heroes. Unique attributes. Gideon is the first unit to care about an enemy unit having the leader tag and not just being in the leader slot. Enemies with leader tag can't resist the daze from subversive volley. Enemies with the leader tag taking a turn will give Gideon a stack of insight and give all Imperial troopers a buff to offense for the rest of the encounter. That is massive. So going against Moff Gideon, it does not matter if the enemy unit is in the leader slot or not. Just having that leader tag means that every time they take a turn, they're going to give Gideon a stack of insight and give all Imperial troopers a buff to offense for the rest of the encounter. Plus, those enemies can't resist the daze. That cannot be resisted, the daze from Subversive Volley, one of Gideon's special attack abilities. So think about this, because this is massive. A lot of the squads that people are going to be using out there, obviously the character in the leader slot is going to have the leader tag, but probably a lot of the other characters in that squad are also going to have the leader tag. I mean, think about a Jedi squad, for example. Maybe you're running Jedi Knight Revan with Grandmaster Yoda, General Kenobi, Anakin, and Ahsoka. Right there, you have 5 units all with that leader tag. It doesn't matter that only one of them, Jedi Knight Revan, is in that leader slot. Every time one of those characters take a move, every time one of your toons attacks or does anything, you're feeding buffs to the other team. That is just crazy. We've never seen anything like this in Galaxy of Heroes before. It's literally going to mean that we're going to have to completely reorganize. When we're going against Moff Gideon, we're going to have to completely reorganize our teams here to try and flush out. We want to have as few people as possible on the team with that leader tag. This is something we've just not had to think about before. You only think about, okay, who's going in the leader slot? What's their leader ability? It doesn't matter if your attacker also has a leader ability, if your extra support also has the leader ability. This is going to change everything. That similarly, when you're using Moff Gideon, when you're going against a team, you're going to want to be thinking about, okay, how many leader tags are there on that team, not just who is in that leader slot. This is crazy. It's blowing my mind. I can't even think about how this is the kind of knock-on effects. I can't even conceive of all the knock-on effects this is going to have in the game. This is really exciting. Now, it also says here that tactical deployment, which is one of Moff Gideon's abilities, the Zeta ability there practically begs you to bring a properly disciplined fire team into battle. 1 tank, 2 support, and 2 attackers, all of them being Imperial troopers as well, will give them bonus offense and 1 self-revive per encounter. 1 self-revive per encounter. Plus, by the way, a bonus offense, but a self-revive. This is amazing. Moff Gideon seems like a really, really potent leader for your Imperial troopers. More than that, I think this is a character with the potential to really revolutionize gameplay. This is a meta-making character right here. I wouldn't be surprised if people start using Moff Gideon as a counter to Galactic Legends. I know this is just the kit reveal. Got to wait and see how everything plays out in game, but he sounds so good right now. I really wouldn't be surprised if we see him taking down some GLs. Okay, inspiration. Know Your Adversaries is based on the scene in Season 1 where Moff Gideon knows way more than we expect him to about Din Djarin, Cara Cynthia Dune, and Greef Karga. This had a psychological effect on them that this ability represents with the demoralized debuff. Okay, so not giving us a whole lot of information about exactly what that demoralized debuff is going to do, but it sounds like they've really put a lot of thought into this in terms of, canonically, how this character is going to act in game based on how the character acted in the show. I love it. Okay, next point. Moff Gideon was able to take Mando out of the fight by blowing up the E-Web power pack instead of attacking him directly. This is one of his more memorable moves in the show, and we represent this by the insight stacks he gains and the subversive volley ability they unlock. Again, I totally love this. They're linking the gameplay back really tightly into what we've just seen in the Mando show. Awesome. And then finally, while Moff Gideon uses the Darksaber in the Stinger for the final episode of Season 1, we never see him fight with it. That's true, not yet anyway. Since this version of the character is based entirely on his screen time in Season 1, we knew we had to include the Darksaber, but left its functional detail identical to Sabine's special, only with a longer cooldown. Okay, so that's basically what we gleaned from that first image anyway. So he's going to be using the Darksaber, but he's not going to have any extra abilities with it. It's literally just going to do that armor shred exactly the same way Sabine's does, but it's going to have a little bit of a longer cooldown. That is still very awesome. That armor shred, as we said before, is still a very cool mechanic and one that we don't see a lot of in the game. So bring it on, I say. And then lastly, they have some strategy tips and suggestions here. For attackers, they say you should choose from the following: Death Trooper, Snow Trooper, and Magma Trooper. For your tank, you're going to be choosing from Shore Trooper or Storm Trooper, so those are the Imperial Troopers in the game. Finally, the last spot's going to be the hardest to decide between: Piet, Veers, Stark, or Range Trooper. pick one because your other support will be Moff Gideon himself. So he obviously has that other support tag, so you're just looking for that second support: Kit, Veers, Stark, or Range Trooper. Each choice brings something different to the table, so you may want to tailor your squad to the squad you'll be facing off against and what abilities you feel will be most impactful. It's then got a few FAQs asking whether the self-revive applies to Moff Gideon as well, and they answer that it does, which is very cool. That's not normally the way these things work in game, but he's also going to have one self-revive. They say that this represents the kind of hard-to-kill nature seen at the end of Season 1. They've also just got some various other questions there, including one of them asking what is the Darksaber going to look like in game. They say, cries in Sabine, you really don't use her, do you? Which is true. I've got her on screen right now. She was using the Darksaber just a second ago, just so we can all remind ourselves of what that Darksaber actually looks like. So it's going to look and function identically to Sabine's. I hardly use Sabine. I'm definitely guilty of that. She is a very cool attacker. She just doesn't quite fit with the rest of the Phoenix squad. She isn't quite as necessary for completing the Thrawn event, and then after, I think most people pretty much give up on Phoenix once they've unlocked Thrawn. But this is really making me think I should go back and take a look at Sabine, because she is a cool attacker and get some of that dark saber action even before Moff Gideon arrives in game. Well, there you go. That is the kit reveal. Do check it out. As I said, it's just on the regular forum, and check out those FAQs as well. There's a couple of questions there. I won't go through them all. This is really, really exciting. I mean, this Moff Gideon character, in my mind, is more revolutionary than any of the Galactic Legends have been. He just has the ability, I think, to completely change the way we play the game, especially with these two main abilities that stand out to me. Number one, removing all return meter. That's just awesome. I mean, imagine using that against characters that are immune to turn meter reduction. Assuming that it works against those characters, of course, that is going to be really epic, that you can just remove all turn meter from both sides, and then he can give that advantage to his own team. And then this whole leader tag thing, I mean, that just turns the entire game on its head to me. Really, really exciting stuff. I can't wait for him to come to the game. We haven't got a date yet on that. We don't know exactly when this Marquee event is going to be launched, but I'd imagine it's going to be soon. It's definitely going to be this month. I think we're going to see it before Christmas, or Life Day, I should say, for sure. So keep your eyes peeled for that. But what do you think? Are you as excited as I am? Are you reading this and just thinking, meh? Let me know down below. I'd love to read your thoughts, comments, criticisms, and suggestions. As always, thank you for being a part of this journey, for coming along with me while we just take a quick look at this kit reveal. Obviously, when the Marquee event does launch, we'll be making a video about that as well. If you found this video interesting or entertaining in any way, please consider giving it a like, a thumbs up down below, and why not subscribe to the channel? I drop new Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes and Marvel Strike Force videos every week, plus I throw a couple of other games in there every now and again when I get the chance. That is all for today. I'll see you in the next Liam Maiden gameplay video. In the meantime, look after each other, and remember, the Force will be with you, always.